I mean, anyone starting KDP right now is so lucky with AI that you can make money with zero cost. All we're really doing is creating an original PDF that people like and uploading it to the platform and then sending traffic to that platform. That's it. And if you do those things really well, then you're going to make a lot of money. I would also just like to overarch that this is the first course that I joined where the founders, yourself, are earning a lot of money from publishing. But yeah, I was doing keyword research totally wrong before I joined, and my Amazon ads on reflection were a mess before I implemented the publishing OS Amazon ad strategy. I'm confident that it's the best publishing course out there for those things, and those things are the most important part of the process.
Guys, for the people who don't know him, I'm talking about James. He's one of the greatest guys that we have inside our community in terms of royalties made, in terms of what an amazing human being it is. And James, for all the people who don't know you, tell us a little bit more about your background and why you start KDP in the first place.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Tommy. So my name's James. I've been publishing for about 4 years now. I'm coming up to 4 years. The reason I started publishing was because I worked at an investment bank and I worked there for 8 years. And I wanted to start a business. I wanted to work for myself. So about 6 years into my job, I was shown an advert for a separate course, teaching publishing. I signed up there and then 2 years later, I quit my job. And I've been doing it full time now, 2 years. Paying myself and everything. So it's great. I love publishing now.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because, of course, you told me immediately about the fact that you were working for, let's say, a big job compared to, I don't know, you were working for an investment bank, right? But what is the main thing that allows you to say, no, perfect, KDP is the right business? Because I imagine you were making pretty good money, let's say, right? What allowed you to make this switch?
Yeah. So, I mean, I always wanted to be successful and I wanted to make a lot of money, which is why I got into finance in the first place. And in terms of jobs, it is good. You get paid quite a lot. But there's a ceiling to how much you can earn. And I figured that after working there for a few years, I realized that it didn't matter how well I did. I was always going to get paid in a range. And after a few years, I realized that would never change. And the only way to be really successful is to own something yourself and to build it yourself and have all the outcomes dependent on you. So when I realized that, it was just a case of deciding which business model to go into. And I knew about a bunch of them: affiliate marketing, dropshipping, like e-commerce.
The classical, the big fives.
Tried a few of them as well, and failed at a few of them. But what I really liked about publishing was, firstly, I could do it totally anonymously. That was important to me whilst I was working my job. Like, I didn't have to be the face of anything. I liked that it was scalable. Like, there's big earning potential. Like, there are some people making so much money on KDP. And you didn't need a huge amount of capital to start. Like, I had some capital, but I actually think it's better if you start without a lot of money, because I had savings.
That is so huge.
Exactly. I had savings when I quit my job, and I think that slowed down my progress, because it was only once I'd used a lot of my savings that I was like, right, I really need to make this work. And you don't need a lot of money, especially with AI now. So they were the main reasons.
Yeah. Even in the startup world, like, they say that if you have too much capital, you're about to burn it all, because you just focus on, this didn't work, I'm going to spend money on this one and this one and this one until you know. Sorry if I go all over the place. I want to make sure that actually we cover every step precisely so that I understand better the situation. Because, of course, you have generated great results, right? You're probably one of the top publisher that probably there is out there, because of course there are people that are making lots of money. And when I mean lots of money, even people are making $200,000 per month, $300,000 per month, right? There are these big dogs, right? But of course, all it matters, for at least for our philosophy, is like how much time you put in the business and how much money you're making, right? So to give us a little bit more numbers, can you tell us about your lifetime earnings with KDP till now? And of course, how much time you're putting for having, the income you're having right now?
Yeah. So I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but I think I've crossed $200,000 on KDP. Audible, I don't know exactly,
All that
but I
plus.
think it's between 70 and 100,000. And then I've got other platforms where I will have earned probably 30,000 plus in aggregate. Obviously, the KDP, you halve that at least because of the ad spend. But yeah, in total, it's a good chunk of money, and that's split across a few years. But it's significantly increased over the last year or two since I've been doing it full time, and now it's obviously paying for my lifestyle.
Yeah. And how many hours, because all the people asking, even in the community, like, oh my gosh, but how many hours do you put in to make all this money, right? Give us a little bit of feedback, because I remember, if you remember, like we were speaking on Twitter, me and you, now X, right?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, you were saying, right now, Tommy, the problem is like understanding what I need to do, because basically the books are working, the books are set up, they're making money. What are the next step? How can I make sure that I can scale this thing? Can you give us more insights about how many hours you were putting before, how many hours you are putting in right now, and yeah, the next steps that you see right now?
Yeah, so I went through a period of not knowing where I should be working. Obviously, I passed that fairly quickly, and then I realized, okay, I just need to make more books, make them high quality. So now there's never ending work, which I like. You know, there's always stuff to be doing. Yeah, I'd say on one of my accounts, pretty much all of the work is outsourced. So I'd spend maybe 4 hours a month, and that's to publish a whole bunch of books on that account.
4 hours per month.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That
And how much is generating that account?
That is generating around 4 to 5 thousand a month.
Whoa.
Yeah, in profit.
4 hours per month.
Yeah,
Got it.
and that's good. That's totally outsourced. So that's very good. And I'm trying to even outsource the last 4 to 5 hours because it can all be outsourced. It's all just processes. But then I'm spending a whole lot of time doing work on other projects that I'm doing, and so don't worry, my days are still full.
Yeah, 1000%. No, but it's impressive in the sense that in the real world, like I always like to say, in the real world out there, to make 4 to 5K per month, like you're doing, because basically it's, I don't want to say completely passively, right? Because of course there is still supervision, and there are still work behind it, there are still tweaks, right? But only real estate properties that are worth like $500,000 make that amount of money per month.
Yeah, yeah, and it's
And
a great
that's,
return for the amount of work.
yeah, and I think that that's very important, because sometimes like we take a lot of things online for granted, but that's the opportunity we have right now, especially when it comes to how easy it can be nowadays. Of course, not easy in the sense of the world, but it's like how simple it is compared to before. Because before, and you are an old type of publisher as well, if I may say, because you know how much struggle there is behind do the research without AI, create the book without AI, launch the book without the insights and the tools we have nowadays. So now there is literally no excuse. I was talking with Manu before. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you truly want to make it happen, you just need to put in the work, because the tools are out there, right?
100%.
And
Yeah, you've got
so
to put the books out. If you're not putting the books out, then you're not going to make any money. You're not going to figure
yeah,
out what you need to do.
to give an extra insight for everybody that is watching right now, the main reason why the majority of beginner publishers fail is because they don't publish the book. They simply got
Yeah.
stuck in a few stuff that doesn't really matter. Like they tends to be too perfect, but not because we invite you to publish a crappy book. That's not the goal. I mean, if you don't publish a very high quality book, you're never gonna make money. I always like to say that. I always like to repeat that, right? But it's very important when it's something is good enough and the market is gonna like it. We're pretty sure that we're gonna go out there and we're gonna sell, and the book is gonna be high quality. Publish the book. Publish the book. You can always increase. You can always edit it later once it's already published, because Amazon give us this ability to add chapters later, remove chapters later, and that's what truly matters, right? Go online. So yeah, amazing. Thanks for that, man.
Totally agree.
So again, right now you said that on one account you're making this $4,000, $5,000 per month with 4 hours per month. Do you have other accounts? And can you also tell us what are your plans? Because I know you're also having other plans in terms of expanding the business, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of other accounts. and they're earning a few thousand as well. And again, they don't actually take that much time. But my plan for the business is actually to simplify a whole bunch of different pen names. I'm running ads for some, not ads for others, trying to get reviews for a bunch of different books. And I think that even that is restricting me. So my plan for this year is to simplify, move down to one pen name or a couple of pen names, one niche, make the books really good. Yeah, I think that'll take me to the next level. So that's the plan going forward.
10,000%. For the people that are watching that who don't know what is a pen name, is basically the pseudonym, right? The creative name that we put in order for us to manage, let's say, and to go public with a specific name behind the box, right? And yeah, of course, man, like your strategy is like to be on a specific niche, or you like to diversify right now in, I don't know, in trends or seasonal keywords, or yeah, you prefer evergreen ones.
I don't like seasonal keywords. I don't even like picking topics which do particularly well in Q4 because I want to build a business that makes money every single month.
And how much you think, because for example, one of the caps, right? Because of course there is so many things you can delegate in the business, like the research, the book creation, and the launch and the Amazon ads. What is, in your opinion, the first thing that you delegated at the beginning? And yeah, what is the main thing you're delegating now?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing that I delegated was definitely the writing. So back when I first started, trying to keep costs low, AI didn't exist. So I would maybe make the outlines or even hire someone to write the outlines and then delegate the writing. I've never written a book myself, although I'm sure after publishing all these books, it seems pretty straightforward. Now, with AI, you can automate pretty much everything. The only thing that I haven't yet automated is the cover design, although I think we're getting pretty close to that. I think in the next few months we'll be able to automate that, and uploading books to the platforms. Everything else, the writing, the outlines, titles, the keyword research, the marketing materials, the formatting, all of that can be automated with the use of AI. So yeah, that's the stage I'm at the moment.
I know that, of course, with all the income you're generating on KDP right now, if I'm not wrong, you're around, I think, on $10,000 per month, something like that, if I'm not wrong, or like on that average. What you're planning to do in order to increase that, if you want to increase that, because you told me, of course, you want to keep things as simple as possible, but scalable at the same time. I don't know, maybe you're expanding distribution on other platforms, you're translating the books, or yeah, can you give us a little bit more insight on that?
Yeah, so my focus this year shifted a bit away from KDP, but back in 2026, that's where all the books are sold. So that's where my focus is going to be. My big focus is going to be building an email list. I think if you build an email list, that solves a lot of your problems. It helps your organic ranking in Amazon, and it also gives you a lot of reviews. So running meta ads on Facebook and building an email list, I think that's going to be the thing that really pushes my earning to the next level, to the 30, 50, 100K a month, those sorts of areas.
Yeah. So, James, before you told me that you iterate a lot, so you publish more books in order to find the one successful. And it's not like, okay, yes, I just published one book and I hope it works, right?
Mhm.
So we plan everything. We make sure that we have our own book portfolio of books that can create income for us, right? Because that's why we're here. That's why we consider them assets, right?
Mhm.
Can you give me a little bit about, can you tell me a little bit about your numbers, in the sense that what are the famous 80% of your royalties are coming from, in terms of, okay, how many books are making money for you right now? Yeah, why you think that compared to any other business model, this can allow us to benefit a lot from the compounding effect you were talking about before?
Yeah. So yeah, my distribution definitely follows the 80-20 rule. I'd say the majority of my earnings are coming from maybe 20 to 30 books. So not many. But yeah, if you publish lots of books, and it's so easy now with AI can write very high quality books. Obviously, there's some topics that you want to stay away from with AI. You want to, they need to be written by humans. But for the topics that there is demand, that are simple topics, can be written by AI. AI is just incredible. It can write a great book. You can publish it. You can practice the marketing, practice your covers, practice your SEO and your keywords. And then when you find a topic that you know is a ton of demand for, that maybe you need to get written by a human, you've done all this practice, you know your cover's going to be incredible, you know how to do all the marketing, so you publish it, and then you do really well. And that's what I've found as well. I've been trying to incorporate AI a lot into my processes, and just the learning that I've experienced from publishing a whole bunch of books that either made no money or made some money, has just meant that now that on my bigger books, the bigger projects, they're just so much more successful.
Yeah, and you relate that success to the fact that AI is so good in finding the right customer, avatar, in the sense that how good it is to make the research in your site instead of you going on Reddit, on YouTube to find out exactly what the readers need. You think it's for that, mainly for the research part, or for how good the book is written? Or
I mean, really, it's good for every part of the process. So as you say, the research part it's incredibly useful.
it's insane.
You can download a bunch of research from all these different platforms that you're using to get data on your customer. You can upload it to the AI, and then you can get it to summarize it. You can get it to do its own research. And then you can get it to tell you the dream outcome that the reader wants, their pain points. You can craft the perfect title with it. You can craft the perfect marketing copy, the perfect outline. And then if you want to have it written by a human, you can do that as well, if you know you've got a great writer. But yeah, AI has just totally changed the process in terms of the research and the marketing and the writing. I also use it for writing,
Insane.
and the quality of the writing is incredible.
Especially Claude, like the quality
Yeah.
compared to any other module is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. And it's like, I think it's pretty important because during your journey, once you started, right? What was the real main setbacks, the say that is harder than I thought, in a way, if it was the case? And secondly, like if you want to connect to that question as well, when you realize that the business were about to go very fast, faster than you expected, because of course, I'm talking about as well your results and what you're seeing right now in your everyday business, right?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really had any major setbacks. I'd say the one of the big challenges with publishing is that you're platform dependent. So if you've got one Amazon account, one Audible account, one Spotify account, whatever, uh, if they terminate your account, then you're in trouble.
Sure.
There are ways around that, but that's something that you've got to be very conscious of. And I'm lucky enough to, I wouldn't even call it luck. I've just been careful enough to not have any accounts terminated. I think also a challenge was realizing what was really required to be successful at it. And I think I started with rose-tinted glasses, thinking, "Oh, just publish a few books and then one would take off." But really, you've got to put a lot of work in. You got to really learn how it works. You've got to publish a whole bunch of books that don't make any money before you realize what works. Yeah. And the second part of the question, in terms of when did I realize it was starting to take off?
Yeah.
Again, there weren't any big moments. I'd say that it was quite gradual. But what happens, for me at least, was that I would put in work every day, and then every so often you'd have these little wins. And these little wins would compound, and then eventually you'd look back over a year or 2 years and you'd realize, oh wow, I've come really far. But the key thing for me was making sure that I was putting in that work regularly and never having big breaks, and just trying to compound the little wins. And the little wins feel little on the day. Occasionally there'd be some bigger wins, but it's really the adding up of those wins that really is the progress.
Yeah. And I think you say something super important, which is the fact that we rely on Amazon, because basically Amazon is what do 95% of the lifting for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
One thing that is important to say though, that Amazon right now is probably one of the most solid and big company ever created, right? In terms of what they do for us, they ship the book for us, they print the book for us, they manage the customer support for us. Everything when it comes to all we need to do basically is to be creative and to upload our books, and then Amazon is gonna make the magic, right? So yeah, of course, even me at the beginning, I had like a little bit this thing like, okay, perfect. I have my own business, I have my own assets, right? Because nobody can take away from me my assets, my intellectual properties. But then, of course, we rely on Amazon. But in general, if you understand the rule of the game, that's always what we like to say, right? If you
Yeah.
understand the rule of the game and you fly within the radar, and of course Amazon understand that you respect their policy, you're gonna be fine. Like that, this business is here from 2005, I think. But yeah, so that's a truly important matter.
So one thing I'll add is that it's a lot of people are very nervous around the platform rules and breaching them and getting shut down. But I believe that the way to be really successful is actually well within those boundaries. If you're picking topics by copying other people's books and getting reviews in illegitimate ways, then they're the things that are going to get you banned. That's not the way to make really big money. All we're really doing is creating an original PDF that people like and uploading it to the platform and then sending traffic to that platform. That's it. And if you do those things really well, then you're going to make a lot of money. And all of those things are well within Amazon's rules. You know, they want you to upload a good quality original PDF and send traffic to them. And then if you do all that,
That's
like they'll never ban you and you'll make a ton of money.
So if you have some advice to give to all the people right now that are at $0 on KDP, they are just starting out, what are the main things they should focus on mainly to make start the business and, eventually like you're doing, living off of that?
Yeah. So my advice would be, I mean, anyone starting KDP right now is so lucky with AI that you can make money with zero cost. So my advice would be to keep costs as low as possible and just try and get some money coming in. Whether that means, publishing some books on some platforms. You can publish on so many different platforms now with AI. Just getting some books out and getting some money in. Because as soon as you get some money in, then things just can spiral up eventually. And just keep costs as low as possible. So yeah, just take action super quick. Just get something out. Don't overthink it. Don't stress about, the occasional bad review. Yeah, just take action, get books out and get some money coming in.
Yeah, 10,000%, man. And then, of course, I think the most important thing is to have the right system because, of course, like a lot of people do the mistakes that I did as well. I tried to do business by myself at the beginning, like, oh yeah, like I just need to create the book with the AI, right? $0. I'm gonna publish. I'm gonna make money, right? But instead, like, it's so important to understand the overall system before taking step one, because a lot of people start from creating the book instead of, understanding that there is a topic that needs to be profitable, understanding that there is an exact market research to do. So in your opinion, because of course you're a Publishing OS member, what are the things that you learned the most inside our program? And they help you do something higher in your business?
Yeah, I'd say the two biggest things that I learned from Publishing OS were the topic research and the Amazon ads. And I'd also just like to overarch that this is the first course that I joined where the founders, yourself, are earning a lot of money from publishing. And what it taught me was that the really important parts were the topic selection, the marketing, and then the Amazon ads. And even just seeing the way the course was structured, that helped me realize that's the main thing that you should focus on. But yeah, I was doing keyword research totally wrong before I joined, and my Amazon ads on reflection were a mess before I implemented the Publishing OS Amazon ad strategy. I'm confident that it's the best publishing course out there for those things, and those things are the most important part of the process.
Yeah, 10,000%, man. I appreciate that. And because there is a lot of people, but in general, it's a type of business. I think we are privileged, right? To like you and me included, in the sense that becoming experts slowly in something, understanding that, we are creating our own economy, and we're understanding that by taking specific actions systematically on a repeatable way, we can, generate wealth, right? And then on that regard specifically, with all the money you're making right now on KDP, how you're allocating the budget, like, if you, of course, if you can tell us the percentage, if not, like just a broad view on, I'm allocating all the money back on KDP because I want to mainly grow KDP, or also I'm investing, I don't know, in the classical traditional way of investing, like, I don't know, real estate to expand your earnings, right? Real estate, or maybe index funds, or whatever. Can you give us a little bit more of them?
Yeah. So, I mean, the first few years, I was reinvesting everything I did back into publishing. And my attitude has slightly changed over the last year or so. I'm now trying to effectively maximize my profit every month, and that means keeping my costs as low as possible. So every decision that I make where I'm going to spend money in my business, I'm trying to think, do I need to spend this money? And if I do, what's the cheapest way that I can do it? That's been working well for me. So I've been trying to take cash out of the business. In terms of what I'm doing with the cash, a few different things. Some of it's in cash. I've been putting a bit into Bitcoin. Don't take this as investment advice, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
In terms of the business, I'm actually trying to spend as little money as possible. And yeah, I mean, with this new project that I'm undertaking this year, which is going to be a bigger project on KDP, it's going to be a case that I'm reinvesting in Meta ads and Amazon ads. So that's probably where a large portion of the spending will be.
Man, I truly appreciate that you take the time to do the call, and yeah, I think for now is perfect like that. I thank you so much, and then of course I'll see you inside the community.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. See you soon.